I want to thank the members of the media for joining us today. It has been a tragic day in the city of Buffalo. I am here with First Deputy Police Commissioner Al Wright and Chief of Detectives Craig Macy. I am very sad to report that overnight, 6 teenagers were shot in the city of Buffalo between the ages of 14 to 16 years old. A 14-year-old girl is dead, and a 15-year-old boy is in stable but critical condition. The shooting occurred on Alexander Avenue, and I have to say that as we think about these young lives, we should all in our community take a moment to pray for the recovery of these children and for the precious life that was lost. We all want to extend our condolences to the parents of the 14-year-old girl and let the other families know that we are praying for them as well. No parent should have to deal with what these parents are dealing with now. It has been a long night for me, and in particular for the Buffalo Police Department. I got the first call at 1:31 this morning. Our Buffalo Police Department has been working on this issue around the clock. And I want to thank Chief of Detectives Macy and the members of the Buffalo Police Department who have been working on this. I want to make it clear to the shooter or shooters involved in this, consider turning yourself in. If you have any conscience or any remorse that you killed a 14-year-old girl, you should contact the Buffalo Police and turn yourself in. This is a senseless crime. To open fire on a group of children absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. We have also been in touch with the superintendent of the Buffalo Public Schools, Dr. Tanja Williams. Several of these children attended Buffalo Public Schools, not all of them. The superintendent will be providing counseling at the schools that these children attend, those that are in the Buffalo Public Schools, and there will be an increased security at these schools by Buffalo Public School Security. I also want to thank the president and CEO of the Buffalo Urban League, Thomas Buford, for reaching out. The Urban League will be available with its counseling staff to provide counseling for any of the families that might need it. So again, this has been a very tragic morning in the city of Buffalo. 6 children, 6 teenagers between the ages of 14 to 16 shot, a 14-year-old girl dead, and a 15-year-old boy fighting for his life in the hospital. I'll now turn things over to First Deputy Police Commissioner Al Wright.
Good afternoon. I just want to reiterate what Mayor Brown said. Our hearts are with the victims and the victims' families, especially the family of the 14-year-old girl in this senseless tragedy. Our officers and detectives have been working this case nonstop. The Buffalo Police Department will be doing everything in its power to bring the individual or individuals to justice. We've been making progress, In this case, with the help of community members who have stepped forward with what they saw in the videos taken. I'm going to piggyback off the mayor. You should consider turning yourself in because we won't rest until the individuals are in custody for this senseless tragedy. I'll now turn it over to Craig Macy, Chief of Detectives, with respect to the further investigation of the case.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Deputy Commissioner Wright. Again, I also would like to extend my my sympathies to the families of all of the victims, as well as from the Detective Division. So the timeline of events is as follows for last night. Last night at approximately 10:21, there was a call for service, which Buffalo Police Patrol received and responded to, which originally was a loud music call and groups outside smoking. And then it was quickly upgraded to a fight call, which police responded to. Police were on scene for approximately 25 to 30 minutes, where they dispersed several groups of kids fighting and large groups of juveniles kind of hanging around the area. At approximately 23:10 or 11:10, there was a call for shots fired, which police, again, they're in the area, not directly on scene. They quickly respond, and then approximately 8 minutes later, it is discovered that there is people shot in the area. So we received calls from multiple addresses, which was essentially one incident. We had calls from 1500 Jefferson, which if you look at the map to my left, is a community building that has a back lot that backs up to Alexander Place. On Alexander Place, during the canvass, detectives were able to find multiple shell casings. So that's where we believe the incident took place, where the shooter was. And from there, we also received phone calls for service and shots fired from Harlow, Lythe, and a couple other streets in there. So multiple calls from that small group of streets. We as the Buffalo Police need the community. We need help. Any videos that you have seen on social media, any videos that are from in and around the area, from surveillance cameras, if we don't have them already, we would like them. If you don't know if we have them, please reach out to us. And any assistance is needed and appreciated. So other than that, I'll turn it back over to the mayor for questions.
As Chief Macy said, we're asking the community for any information that the community has to provide it. The police tip line number is 716-847-2255. We know that there were a lot of young people out and about at the time of this shooting. If you have any information, if you have any video, please share it. It is our goal, and we will not rest until we bring the person or persons responsible for this terrible crime to justice. With that, I'm going to open up for questions that the members of the media have.
Do you have any motive? Do you have any idea what motive
Chief.
should be behind this?
Yes, so currently, right now, it seems like there was a large house party in that vicinity where there was multiple fights, which was the original call for service for the police. It is our belief at this time that that fight had something to do with this shooting.
Detectives, is there any idea on if this was a drive-by shooting or somebody walking by? And is it possible there's more than one shooter involved?
We are looking into all of those questions now. We have some idea for all of those answers, but I can't definitively say right now, and I don't think it would be appropriate to release that.
Are you under the impression that the shooter is also a minor?
Again, that is all part of this investigation. Once that's confirmed or denied, we will track that down as well.
Jay?
Sorry.
Jay?
Were there other guns at the scene aside from the shooter?
We believe right now that there was at least 3 handguns present for this party.
Ben?
Do any of the victims live in this neighborhood?
They're all city residents. I don't have their addresses off the top of my head. There was at least a couple that lived very close.
Do you have any indication on how many shots in total were fired last night?
We do, but that's not going to be released right now. Thank you.
Victims, the 14-year-old specifically, I mean, were they shot once or multiple times? Is there any indication there?
So the wounds that they received, the vast majority of them were extremity wounds. And again, I don't want to release too much, but there was a range of wounds, yes.
The officers that were out on Alexander Place today, were they investigating this shooting this morning?
Yes, they're doing a secondary canvas.
The female that is deceased, is she one of the students at a BPS school?
I can speak to that.
Thank you.
She is not a BPS school student.
Are you allowed to say where she goes to school?
She is a charter school student.
There's a question about the secondary canvas. If Chief Macy will just sort of take you through what a canvas is.
So the initial canvas is where officers and detectives go through what we believe is the scene or where the scene is or was, and they look for anything as far as videos, evidence that might be left behind, either discarded or from shell casings from fired weapons. And then we do a secondary canvas, typically when it's light, afterwards to be able to see if anything was missed and or if there is any other witnesses that might want to come forward and provide any other information.
Anyone else?
Was the shooter targeting someone in particular and randomly fired into a crowd, or what's the circumstances of that?
Well, all indications are, again, that this is stemming from the original fight call to say if the shooter was targeting those individuals. I can't say that at this time.
Do you have a number as to how many individuals were at this party to begin with? How large was this group of kids?
In the hundreds.
Was this party at a private residence or was it at that community center?
It was at a private residence.
The scope of the scene, is that making it any more difficult to investigate? It sounds like it was a large area that had to canvas.
With this many people involved as potential witnesses, that is a hurdle in itself. But again, I'm confident that this case is going to be closed with an arrest. So what the mayor and the deputy said, if you do have a conscience and you are remorseful, we would encourage you to turn yourself in. If not, I am confident where we stand in this case and what our homicide detectives are ultimately going to be able to do.
Were there any secondary arrests or charges stemming from the party or anything surrounding the incident?
No, sir.
If in fact it turns out that the shooter is juvenile, how is that handled differently as opposed to if it was an adult?
So that will ultimately be up to the DA's office and family court to work through that. But if it is a juvenile, this is a homicide case, so that will be, the DA's office will work through that.
Will the name be released of the victim or is it pending notification still?
No, the mother knows, but since it is a child, we will not be releasing that.
Anyone else?
Just the circumstances again of the party, is it essentially spilled into the parking lot, grassy area?
In that whole vicinity, which is why there was so many calls from those neighborhood or adjacent streets. Yes.
And just, I'm sorry, to clarify, do we know where they were shot or is it where they were found?
So we're confident where the shooter was. There was a lot of people that moved from there, and with respect to all 6 of them, I can't definitively say that right now.
Is this a problem spot? Is this where kids congregate to party or it was just kind of a one-off?
I would not classify this as a problem spot. As you've heard the commissioner talk about directed patrols, where we look at the data from gun violence, this is not a spot where we typically see gun violence or that we have seen gun violence, and we don't have that on our directed patrol list.
Have the weapons been recovered?
I'm not going to speak to that at this time.
Are there any suspects or persons of interest right now?
Not that we're releasing.
What can you tell the residents, I mean, it's all houses, that whole stretch. What can you tell the residents to maybe allay fears, or maybe, what would you say to them so they can sleep better tonight?
Well, with as much more cooperation, the faster that this case gets closed. The police will be out, active, and having our directed patrols in that area. Since there was an incident of gun violence, there will be marked cars there. And, you know, the Buffalo police are out doing their job.
Let me speak to that as well. As Chief Macy said, police patrol in that area will be increased. But also, as we have all said, the Buffalo police are not going to rest on this. We are going to continue to work on this as hard as we possibly can until we find the person or persons responsible for this. So we want the community to know that this is in no way, shape, or form going to be treated lightly. Police are working this very aggressively, and we will continue to work it very aggressively until the person or persons responsible are found.
Any messages for people that might want retribution?
Excuse me?
Any messages for people that might want retribution, don't want to wait for the police?
No, we let the police handle it. The Buffalo police are good at their jobs, and the Buffalo police will not rest on this or any other crime of this magnitude in the city of Buffalo.
One more, if we have one more.
Is there any concern for public safety right now with the potential shooters?
Want to speak to that?
Again, the Buffalo police are good, as the mayor said, are good at their jobs. There's no concern. We will step up patrol in the areas like we do all areas that will become part of our hotspot.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
If there are any updates